Angela.
All right, so welcome everyone. Thank you so much for being here for our session today. This is our last official session before the summit. So we're going to take you through a couple of important information for you to have the best success ever. I'll just tell you a little bit about how the run of the show is going to go. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the logistics behind the summit, what's going to happen, where would you like to show up, and all these details on how to actually your talk itself inside of it. It's going to go through. And then Christy's going to give us an update on the numbers and how we're doing, how is everything coming along. And then after that, we'll have space for Q&A. Yeah, so you can ask any questions. If you have any questions throughout the process, just put them in the chat. And if we don't answer them immediately, know that we will answer them at the end of the call. All right. So, well, again, thank you so much for being here and for being part of this summit. We are so excited to have you as speakers to build your authority, to increase your visibility, and to really go deeper into this process of what it means to have a thriving business. And from the space of understanding that there's no one hit song. You don't want to be like these artists, right? That have one hit song and that's it, and then everyone forgets about them, right? Like this group Aqua is coming to mind with like the Blue House, but is it called Blue or something like that? Like they were just known for that song, and it's an amazing song, but that's it. No one knows anything else about them, right? So maybe they have also, I think, the Barbie Girl song, but that's kind of it. And we don't want to have that. We want to be someone who's successful throughout the process. And for this, we do need to increase our growth, our visibility. We need to increase our impact, and we need to keep showing up. And that's why summits are an amazing space for you to grow in the place of being seen, allowing other people to see who you are. And it's not just about the people attending the summit, it's also about your fellow speakers. So we really highly invite you to go and look at the calendar, and you have the link to add the calendar into your own Google Calendar. So you have all the access to the talks and what's happening when, really to see what your other fellow speakers are talking about and show up to their talks as well, because you don't know, that person might actually give you the piece that you're missing in the puzzle for your business to become a thriving business. So once again, thank you for being here. We're so excited for everything that's all the pieces in the puzzle that are coming together, the results that we're getting, the improvements that are happening, and for us to be able to also teach you a few things inside of your business that you can actually apply later on in the future. It's not just about, oh, I know this for this summit, and then next time I have to go and redo everything. And Christy will take us through that a little bit deeper. So it's super, super exciting. All right. So for the logic and the process, the logistics of the summit itself, right? So I'm going to talk first of the big overview, and then we're going to go deeper into each talk in that space, right? So first of all, we're starting on Monday, and then Monday we have our VIP roundtable. And this is the panel of speakers that are going to come and talk about different topics. If you're a VIP speaker, just know that we're going to reach out to you with more details about this roundtable. We also highly invite everyone who's a speaker to join this VIP roundtable. Even though you might not be the main speaker, you will be able to introduce yourself around other people who are going to be there. You'll be able to comment, or are going to be able to interact. And that's a great way for you to actually showcase that you're going to be having a talk, to invite people like, hey, well, if you're interested in this, don't miss my talk. It's going to happen on this XY date. All right, so that's on day one. It's in the afternoon on Pacific time, so morning for people in Australia, and then late evening for people in Europe. So that's day one, right? So it's an easier day. It's only a 2-hour session. And then from there, we're going to go from Tuesday all the way to Friday with our different speaker talks. We ask you to actually show up the session before yours, especially so we make sure that you're there, like you don't miss the timing. And this, I'm always talking about this from experience, because I almost missed my one summit talk, and I paid a lot of money to be on that summit, and I almost missed it because of the time difference. So because I actually showed up to the session before, that was actually my session, I managed to do it. Yeah. So we might need to actually show up 1 hour before, because that way we can make you a co-host. So you'll be able to share your slides if you have some, and you will be able to also get in the energy and the groove of the talks, right? So show up for the session before yours. And then I also invite you to stay a little bit longer after your session, because people might still have questions afterwards. If you immediately drop off from the call, there might be people who still want to talk to you or want to like ask you questions. So it's a great way for you to keep engaging. So these are like basically our requests for your talk specifically, right? And just show up to as many talks as you possibly can. I know you all have busy schedules, but support your fellow speakers. It's going to make a huge, huge difference. And as I said,
what that does, I'm just going to slip in there. What that does too is it shows you, because you haven't done this yet, right? We don't have a practice round. And so if you know that somebody's struggling with something, it'll show you what to get prepared for. We never know what's going to happen with each one. So if you're showing up on people's talks, you're going to see what their struggles were or what they did really well. So it's going to help you along the way, but it also will get you confidence, because you'll really see what sometimes we just need that little boost of confidence. And then supporting your other speakers. That's really what we want to do here, is just really, really support each other. The round or the VIP, the networking sections are really important, because people are getting clients. Even from these coaching calls, people have gotten clients. And so be on those, be present, be on camera, and be really available, because that's where you're going to get clients from this, immediately. Those kind of things happen fast in these situations. So,
yeah.
Lots of opportunities. You just got to show up.
So I want to say about now, so we spoke about your actual speaking session, your speaking slot, right? And I'm going to go deeper now into the VIP networking events. And VIP networking events, it means it's for the people who purchase the VIP access pass, right? So they will get access to this. So it's people who already invested in themselves. It's easier for them to actually invest again in you. And the way it's going to work, there's 2 different ways on how these networking events can be managed. First, if the group is not a huge group itself, what will happen is that everyone will get to introduce themselves inside of this networking event. I highly invite you to use the bio that you wrote as part of your marketing form. If you don't have it, we can actually give that to you. So this bio that says, people hire me because this, it's an amazing tool for you to introduce yourself inside of networking events. I can tell you that I've been in networking events where I've gotten clients from the networking events itself, because they're like, oh, you do retreats? I really want to do retreats. Let's connect. And then that's it, right? That's the end of the conversation. Like we take it to the next level. So the networking events are extremely, extremely powerful. The other suggestion in this space is to really think if you are going to be portraying yourself, looking for partnerships and collaborations, or looking for clients directly. Because you might actually find some people that are like, oh, I could really collaborate with this person and create something together, right? So networking events are also great to find people who are a match in your business that could help you promote your programs, or you can help them and then maybe you get a commission in it. So really think about what you want to be offering in this space and how do you want to show up. Once you start seeing the people talking and introducing themselves, this is going to make a lot more sense. So we have that. Now, if the groups are larger, we're going to actually have breakout rooms, and there's going to be leaders for those breakout rooms. Those are like VIP speakers, and they'll manage the space. They'll go through the introductions, and then people will come back and just talk about some highlights of those breakout rooms. Breakout rooms are a little bit more intimate. You get to connect more. So depending on how many people show up to the networking event, that's how we're going to be managing it. So I just wanted you to know the 2 different ways on how this can happen. So you're not surprised, you know what's going on, and you can actually have a lot of fun inside of networking events. They're 1 hour long, so it's not like a 3-hour networking event. So it's really kind of like speed dating style. So make sure that your pitch your bio, what you're sharing. It's very, very consistent, and it already includes links to what you want to offer. Maybe it's a discovery call. Maybe I have one that it's a link for a coffee chat, right? So this is for partnerships. So I already know what they're coming from. So really have something ready to copy and paste inside of the networking event. The same thing I would suggest for you to have for your talk. If you're offering a paid product, then go through the process of having your links for your paid products, but also tell them what do you do and who you serve. It's not just like, oh, here's my link. Let them, some people might not be paying so much attention, right? They might be like using the blender exactly in the moment where you spoke about your offer. So you want to give them the information. So I suggest you have it either in your notes inside of your computer or in a Word document already prepared that's easy for you to just pull up. Where we're going to be placing the replay for this session, you will have an example of how I do it inside of networking events. So you can just copy it and just change it and adjust it to your own. And you can use this in the future for any networking events or talks that you will be having. So it really works. It's been proven and tested. And I really hope that you utilize these tools that we're providing you. So have that ready. We'll show you an example inside of the replay so you can really go and just adjust it to who you are and make it. We're trying to make things as simple as possible. If you can notice that inside of what we're creating is that we're really trying to streamline everything and making it as easy as possible for you. So you don't have to really think so much about like the technical pieces and just go and plug in the information. Also know that after the summit is over, we're going to have a wrap-up speakers call where we're going to be sharing the prices for the competition and signups, and we're going to be sharing the numbers, what happened actually after the summit. Know as well that this is not just something that is the summit and it's over. There's going to be a campaign post-summit, and this is all about creating loyalty marketing. So people will still be able to purchase your replays for your sessions, have access at it in this podcast style so they can actually go and listen to it and then hire you on a later stage if they were not ready for your offers in that moment. Also,
I want to say something about that too. These kind of opportunities, for those of you who are new at them, can bring clients in for years. You never know who's going to see something down the road or hear something or refer something. I've gotten clients 2 years after they saw something or read something, and they come back and they're like, I've been waiting to hire you, or I followed you for 2 years. So you never know where people are. So your results might not show up on day 1. They might show up on day 900, but they will show up. And so keep that in mind when you're doing this, because I do a lot of interviews and things like that because of my podcast. And one of the biggest things that I hear all the time, and I did over 1,000 podcast interviews last year, what I hear all the time is how frustrated people are. They've hired this, or they've taken that course, or they've done this, and they don't, and I hear it doesn't work. But here's the thing, it does work. It just might not look like what you think it's going to look like in the time you think it's going to look, but everything is working out. Everything is working. There's back end numbers. There's things that are happening that you don't see. So don't get frustrated. If it doesn't show up on day 1, it might show up later. There will be people it does show up on day 1 for. So keep that in mind. The more you are showing up and the more you're present and the more people hear you or connect with you, the more likely that is going to happen.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. And we will be talking now a little bit more about like the marketing campaign and all the things that are happening behind the scenes for you to also understand like how the marketing timeline works for these live events that are happening online. So you will have a little bit more of an understanding of what's happening behind the scenes. We want you to really know, like, in full transparency, what's going on, what things are being updated, what's the plan afterwards, so you get the best results possible. Really know that some clients are ready to buy from you today and some people need more time, and that's fine. Because if you build a business that is consistent, they will find you and you will find them when the time is actually correct for them. I can tell you that I have a lot of people coming into my retreat program saying, hey, I saw you 8 months ago, 9 months ago, and now I'm ready. I've had people coming after 3 years being like, okay, now I'm ready. How can I work with you? So really allowing the space to understand that it's a business and it's growing, that it's going to thrive in the future, and that we're not doing this for the one-time hit song.
Women, we're not one-hit wonders.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So Christy, if you want to take us through the numbers and how we're like the updates, and so everyone can have a little bit more understanding.
So for those of you who like the numbers, not everybody does. Some people do not. I have clients who are like, don't tell me. So whichever one you are, we do want to share this process with you because it will help you know and understand in your business. What I just said about people, the thing I heard the most through all those interviews, it's not working, it's not working. I always tell people, let's verify that it's not working. And this is how you verify. Because if we were looking at this from just externally looking at it, we wouldn't really think it's working because nothing has shown up in a tangible form yet. And so if you can really know and understand numbers in your marketing, you will be a better business owner. And so if you hate the numbers, just learn to love them. Learn to appreciate them, I guess I should say, a little bit more. So those of you who were on our first call when I gave you the funnel and I said, here's exactly what we are projected to accomplish in this process that we're doing. We are going to reach 50,000 people. Here's how we're going to do it. We're doing it through a PR campaign, through ads, through email marketing, and word of mouth. Those were our 4 streams of getting reach out there. And my estimation with that, just from the amount of speakers that we had, our ad budget, and our own personal audiences, 50,000 was the estimate. Now, some people do not think that's a big number, and it's not that big of a number. I've seen estimates out there promising we have a 989 billion reach, and that's all great and dandy, but I don't really believe it. When you really, really look at numbers and you get real and you don't go into the hype of everything and you get real, you can really estimate what you're going to get from something. So 50,000, we are at 50,000 and we still have a week to go. And that's not including every person who sent their own emails out. Or it also does not include each individual speaker's personal audience, but it includes who we've reached through our ads and our campaign, our PR campaign, our ads, and our email marketing process. So we've reached our 30,000. And so if you guys want to see the numbers, I'm going to share them here. Here's our funnel numbers. And then from the 50,000, what you can estimate is of those 50,000 people who are looking, I'm going to do the numbers real quick. I don't have that paper in front of us. We should expect 10,000 engagement of some sort on there. So through our ads, our personal posting, our email sequences, 10,000. You can see here, this is our page 1 of our funnel. This is our funnel right here, Wild Women Summit funnel. It has a 3.5 thousand reach. We still have a week to go. So we are right on target. Now, after the first week, we had to make some tweaks. So that's what shows up here is what's improved. So we're up 1,194% on this. We have 360 opt-ins. That is actually a really high number. So if you take 3.5 thousand people and you run those numbers that I just gave you, we are exactly on target. So 360 opt-ins, where we have a 17.9% conversion. My goal is 20. We're actually closer to 19%. I'm going to show you a different page here. So this is great. Where our number is not great is right here. And so what we had to do is we had to tweak our copy on our upsell. So I tweaked it once. So Vanessa is here and she is a copywriter. She helped me do that. So after that, we started getting more of our word of mouth promotion, upselling, but we still hadn't gotten sales. So I stayed up all night long last night with AJ and we tweaked the main copy that you can see. and I got real serious and I got real, I really went into what I know. And we got our first sale right after that. That was this morning about 8 o'clock. We got our first sale. So it's working and we still have a week going. And so all the ads in this time frame, what they do is they test your audience and then they test your images, and then it starts to show you what's performing and what's not. So today is the day we took down all the low performing and non-performing ads and put all that money and attention into the high performing ads. So we had 2 ad images that were high performing. One was that beautiful, like goddessy Black woman with the wild hair. That one had a high performance, and the white dress woman with the sunglasses and the hot pink lipstick that says, here's how we do it. Those were our top 2 performers. So now that's all you're going to see if you've been watching the ads. So now that has been honed, and this is our golden week of marketing, those numbers will go up. So you will start to, it should double. Well, it should more than double, because double is only 200. We should see at least a 10x on that. And then we should hit our 20 or more from our opt-in. It should be more because we are almost there. This one up.
So yeah, something I want to say while you show us this, Christy, is that live events, online live events, they have the best performance time is actually the 2 weeks prior to the event itself. May it be a webinar, may it be a challenge, may it be a summit. So in-person events, it's a different story because people need to travel, they need to book the dates, etc. But for online events, the holy grail is the 2 weeks prior to the event itself, because that's when people are like, oh yeah, I am available to go attend these talks. So it makes a huge, huge difference. So it's a different way on like running things. Now, the week before the summit, it's really where the numbers increase. Because
that's our golden week.
That's our golden week, because that's really when people are like, oh yeah, I can attend. Like people don't really tend to commit so long in advance for live events. Also, if we think about it, like based on a performance of like how different nationalities or continents perform, European countries are more likely to actually book in advance and actually show up. But the audience in America, actually, if they book something 3 months in advance, they tend to forget that they said yes to this. So it's important for us to really understand our main audience. And most of our audience is actually in the US.
And then what we do to kind of support that so that we can strengthen it a little bit is reminders. So that's where automation can come in. So text reminders, email reminders, getting them to join your Facebook groups, engagement, all of those continued things will also improve those numbers. If you have automations, and I'm just telling you guys this for your own personal businesses, if you include automated text reminders in your products, you will increase your show up rate by 30%. So we have those included. So here's our opt-in. We have had 2,547 page views. 1,829 of them are unique views. That means, not me going 47,000 times to check my copy, or all the speakers looking at it all the time. So those are really good numbers there. And then our opt-in, we have 351 actually opted in. That means they put in their phone number, their email address, and their name. And so it's at 19.19%. So I am super close to my goal here, should be there by the end of tomorrow. So that's we're celebrating, because when I do these numbers, yes, you can have you can look at the facts and the data and what's supposed to be, but then you want to also look at your own goals. Where do we want to stretch? Where do we want to reach? So 20% is really high, even though it's still in the tangible, factual reach. So those are good. And that's all because of everybody that's doing their part. So we definitely appreciate you for that. Here is where we were not as strong, and that's the VIP Access Pass upsell. We had 550 views, 394 were unique, and only 12 opted into that. So we only have 3%, but that increased as of today because we got $8 ones and one $97 one. So how we're keeping that separate is you guys all got a code for your audiences that they can use the code WILD to upsell for $1. And then if it's a $97, it came from the ads. So that's how we know where they're coming from with those. So right now we have 12 sales altogether. So these are really good numbers, and these are just all the rest of the pages of the funnel that don't really matter. And then I'm going to show you this one. These are your guys's affiliates. So these, the affiliate links, why we did the affiliate link, because, you know, it's not like you're all going to get rich from affiliate on a $1 product. But what this does for us in marketing and really being able to do what we need to do to promote you guys, these affiliate links show us where all these numbers are coming from. So we know that Brandy has been doing some work. She's got 4 people signed up to the summit. And then we got Mona, she's on here. She's got 5 people. That's actually a pretty high number. She's right in the middle. Our winners for this part, because we did a little challenge, was Bethany. Bethany reached 16, and she got 3 buyers. So she's our winner here. And then we got 10.
8.
Oh, Anissa's on here. Anissa has 8. So you're on the higher end. And then we had somebody with 10. I don't know where she went, but Jennifer had 10.
8.
So 8 is kind of right in the higher end of the middle of where everybody is. And we've got some different ones here, 3, 1, 1, 5. But even if you got 1 or 2 right here, 10. Even if you got 1 or 2, we know that you are doing something to promote. And it's not easy when you're starting out and you don't know how to do this stuff, right? It's marketing, it's sales, it's visibility. There's a lot that goes into this. And we realize that a lot of people on here are newer. So we do know what effort you put in, and we do very much appreciate it. So I just wanted to show you guys this so you got some motivation and some inspiration and could really see that things are happening behind the scenes. So it would be amazing if every single person got a few different people and got some upsells. So use code WILD to get your audience to upsell and let them know that they get replay to your talk. You know, your audience wants you. So let them know that they'll have replay access to that talk. And you can also just offer to send them something as a gift for signing up too. You know, something personal that'll just support your audience.
Can you check for Tanya? She wants to know.
Oh, yes. Where is Tanya here? Tanya, you have 1. You got somebody on here. So you got someone.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
So what we would suggest here is actually to go through the process of sending private messages to people who you believe would be amazing to come to your talk. And I have an exercise that I want to teach you right now in this moment, that it's such a powerful exercise that I teach all my clients, and it really makes a huge difference. And I'm going to tell you about this exercise. And at the same time, I'm going to tell you about one of my clients who got like the best results so far, because then you can see that it works. And it's really from a place really of mindset and really putting the mindset piece into an actual tangible space. So what I want you to do is I want you to just grab a piece of paper and a pencil. Doing it in the computer does not work. Yeah, we need our brains to be connected to our hand. So you need to do it manually. Yeah, I know we're so used now to like writing notes on our phone and whatnot, but I want you to just grab a piece of paper when you can. And I want you to actually start by writing 25 names of people who would you love to be your ideal customers. In this case, my client Elisa, she was in one of my challenges and I gave this exercise. And we went through the whole process of writing 25 names. She has been hosting retreats for a while. So I told her to actually go deeper and do a list of 50 women that she really wanted to be inside of her retreats. And she did it. And 8 months later, so see, we say all the time that like results sometimes are not immediate, but 8 months later, she actually sent me a message and said, Lainey, your stuff really works. Like I got reached out by one woman who said she wanted me to come to her house with her friends because she wanted me to introduce a retreat for them to actually go to Italy with me. And she's like, you will not imagine that I showed up in front of 9 women, and these 9 women were all in my list. The 9 women I put there, they were all in a list that I wrote months ago, right? So I want you to think about this, 25 people. If it's easy for you to do 25, go for 50. If it's 50 is easy for you, go for 75, right? And write this list and go through the process of actually reaching out to them and inviting them to this summit personally, and send a message, hey, I know we've been in touch, like, I know you, or whatever it is that feels very natural and organic, and say, I'm going to be a speaker in this summit. I would love for you to come. And if you have friends who would benefit from this, please invite them on. I would love to see you again. Right? Just a very sincere message, and invite people directly. So many times we're so focused in the space of like what other coaches are telling you to do, of like, oh, go and do massive events and just get a lead magnet, and then, or do webinars, or do this, or do ads and whatnot. And we forget that the true magic behind any business is actual connection with other people. When you connect with someone on a deeper level, magic happens. Sometimes we're in the busy hustle mode of like, I need to get clients, I need to do this, I need to do that, that we forget that people want that personal touch. They want to hire you because of you, not because of a picture that they saw on Facebook. They hire you because of who you are, of the experiences that you've lived, and that you can actually help them get from point A to point B. So really creating connections with others, it's crucial for your business. Also, I want to tell you that this needs to grow in a space, because most of the times when you're a coach, the numbers say that 40 people, your first 40 clients are going to actually be coming from referrals. But later on that dies down, it's not the same. So it's a lot harder. So you need to also have other strategies in place to bring new people into your space. But if you already have a list of 25 to 50 people that you're like, oh, these people would be amazing to have in my space, I would love to hang out with them, you're already on another space. Because you don't know, that person might know your next client. They might not be your client, they might be, but they might actually know potential clients for you. And so many times we get into this mindset of like, oh, I'm posting all the time on Facebook, I'm always sending emails, like they should know what I do, they should know how I show up, they should know what I offer. And the reality is that attention spam is like 9 seconds. It's nothing. So we assume that people need to know who we are and what we do. It's a very common assumption. And the reality is that if you go and you grab a few people on Instagram or Facebook and you go and you ask them, hey, do you know what I do? I've tested this, right? The reality is that like 90% of the people are going to be like, oh no, I never knew you actually did that. Because we have our lives that are super busy, right? So we cannot assume that people know what we do, how we serve others. So keep that in mind when you're feeling the barriers in front of you saying, no, don't show up again. Like people know what you do. Like people are going to be bothered because they keep seeing your stuff. It's not a reality. It's just a way to protect ourselves from really showing up and becoming visible. And you need to be visible in order to create an impact. You need to be visible in order to get leads. You need to be visible in order to get clients. Anyway, that's it for me for now.
So we, on the last call, we went into some of that copy and stuff like that, just because some of you will see that I changed the name of your talk, and somebody reached out, a couple people reached out and we're like, hey, that's not the name of my talk. But I did that for a reason, because we want people to watch your talk. And so I'm going to just show you the speaker page so you can see what I'm talking about. So this is the speaker page. So each one of you are listed on here and your talk is right underneath of your picture. Now, some of you have really great talks, title talks, whatever I'm trying to say, headlines. Some of you do not. So here's the page that we are changing, that we're working on right now. So if you guys looked at this page when I first put it out, you can see the difference in the copy. So what we're doing different, and the reason I'm focused on everybody's title talks is because that's why they're coming to the summit, is for you guys. And so I've been testing throughout the whole process, different people's talks and topics in some groups with a lot of women in it. That's our ideal audience. And so I went with the one, this is a tried and true, proven course that always gets a lot of attention, but it was the one that got the most attention. So what I did with that is I made it our upgrade. So ChatGPT bonus, you can get clients fast. Now I took some of you on here and I put your talks here. So this is the change I made last night. And instead of doing it the way we have it here, some of these are vague, right? And written in kind of a traditional headline format where you got the little 2-part headline. And we switched it up to be focused on a result, because that's why people want here. So one of the gals that we really, actually, Lenny manifested the speaker. She wanted somebody that would talk about like appearance or how we dress or fashion. And we got our speaker. And her talk title that she sent over is over here. She's down here. And she's right here. She's got great energy. Like, we really liked her. And her talk title is Fashioning a Life You Love. Would anybody on here pay me $5,000 to teach them how to fashion a life I love? No, because we have zero idea what that means. Nobody knows what that means unless you already are in her environment. So that's not going to attract anybody. And so when I was looking at that, I'm like, that's such a topic that most women are interested in. We know it's going to have a play in our business and it's important. So I changed it. Why does it matter how we dress if we're, sitting at home, running these businesses from our bed, or our kitchen, right? Or whatever, wherever we are. But it does matter to women and we do care. But why do we care? We care if it's going to make us money. We care if it's going to find us, get us what we want. And so I changed it. So I'm going to change this part today, the power dressing blueprint. I was trying to think of a name for her, like method or whatnot. So I'm going to change this little part right here, but the result is there. How to dress so you can instantly raise your rates and attract premium clients. Now, who would pay $5,000? If you knew that you could raise your rates and attract premium clients by changing your wardrobe or 2 things about your wardrobe. So do you see how much more powerful that is? And so that's why I'm going through these. The webinar formula, she already had this on there. I just changed this part of her talk, but her result was already there. Turn every viewer into a paying client. That's really powerful. If you're doing webinars, anybody here done webinars before? Webinars are a tried and true science, right? People don't get results from webinars right off the bat. It is a science and a skill that you have to master. You have to run many of them and fine tune them and tweak them to really get your webinar to perform. But she found a method that kind of fast tracks that and turns every viewer into a paying client. That's powerful. That is definitely a talk that any entrepreneurial woman would show up for. So I did that with I'm going to go through the rest of this day. And I'm going to be doing that with all of your guys' talks and taking the ones that I think really stand out and putting them on the front page of our opt-in page. And it will be more like, sign up for her if you want this kind of a concept. So if you see your headlines changed, that's what I'm doing. So if you go through these and ask yourself, would I show up for a talk that's unlocking the power of my nervous system? Now, if you're a nervous system coach, you might want to know somebody else's process, or if somebody's already introduced what is the nervous system, you might be attracted to that. But that's a tiny number of people, right? So why would we go there? That doesn't tell us anything. resilience and healing. Nobody really knows even what healing is, right? Resilience. Do we want resilience? That feels like more hard work. So this is a talk that I'm going to tweak. This is a really good one right here. How to communicate with confidence and break the chains of silence. So most people, most women in business want to communicate with confidence. That she doesn't really have to change anything because those two words do the job for her. Now this will kind of hone her audience a little bit. If these are women who know that they've been kind of shackled, their voice has been shackled, maybe they've had abuse or they've been suppressed by religion, whatever. So it can kind of hone her audience a little bit. So this is a talk I wouldn't change. Vanessa's is great. Cut through the noise and get more sales, right? So she doesn't have to say copywriting for sales pages or how to write emails that do something. Cut through the noise and get more sales. So that's going to attract an entrepreneur who's trying to get sales. So that talk is good. But you guys kind of get the gist of it. So that's what I'm going to be doing. And I'm addressing this for a couple reasons, just because people were reaching out and saying, hey, my talk changed. Your talk did not change. You do not change anything about your presentation or your talk. A headline is simply to attract clients to actually watch you. So we'll be doing more of that. Also, those of you who have been active in the group, you know that I posted in the group. If you are interested in having your talk that you do on the summit turned into an ebook, so you have a marketing plan, let me know because we are offering that. And if you're interested in that, I'll reach out to you and let you know the details. But you can have your talk turned into an ebook.
Yeah, this is like, of course, absolutely amazing. I want to just like bring an example of this as well, right? About like actually creating and crafting messaging where people understand what you're talking about. Yeah. So many times we get inside of our heads and we're thinking like, well, I know what enlightenment means. I know what healing means for me. I know what this means, but does your actually ideal client already speak that language? And I love this example of like really talking from the space of like the difference between like regular retreats, for example, and actually pitching to a corporate retreat, to a corporate office. If I show up from the space and I send an email that says, "Dear soul sister, I am thrilled and beyond exciting. My heart feels expansive just by being able to send you this message. I want to offer you this space where people can come and enlighten themselves. And maybe you can even talk about like, we're going to be deep in the jungle and ditch your phone and all this kind of things. And we are using this lingo that we are very used to communicating everything. You need to ask yourself, would the person on the other side of the computer will actually understand what you're talking about? Will
When a
they
corporate woman want to ditch her phone for a week, no, her business will fall apart. She will panic.
Yeah. So, right. And then if you're talking about like, oh, enlightenment, what does that mean? Right. So there are certain words that you can use instead where you're not honing in or niching down your audience as much. And I love niching in the space of like really knowing your business and being an expert in your field. But when you communicate with someone, you need to make sure that people will understand what you're talking about. And they're not like, who's this crazy lady, right? Like, delete, right? So we want to make sure that it's people really understand. And an exercise that I love to do is just sending out messages. And yes, Vanessa, you can definitely use ChatGPT, but I sometimes go with people and say like, can you please tell me what do you understand for this talk title? And I just wait for the answers. And people will come and tell me, well, I think I understand this, da, 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 da. So many times, like at the beginning of my journey, definitely was happening more. I would get like people really understanding something completely different to what I was offering. And I was like, well, this means like, this is not good enough because I'm getting people confused or coming in for the wrong reasons. So make sure that the language that you use is something that a woman will understand.
So for those of you who are multidimensional, like a healer who you can do a lot of things and help a lot of people with a lot of different areas of your life, you're not going to be niching down as clearly as like Vanessa can, because she, can be so specific. But you still need to have a solid clarity on the problem and the solution for your audience. And how you do that is you fill it in with a method. So I'm going to give you an example on that speaker page again. So do you see Lenny's talk down here? Oh, no, this other page. So right here, this is Lenny's talk. The one I made the headline for, the loyalty marketing method to get. So Lenny's niche is retreats. She teaches retreats, but she really teaches marketing. But she has to be able to do other types of marketing things without confusing her audience. And so we used a method here. The method ties in something that you can be multidimensional in and still speaks to your audience without causing confusion. So those of you who have a modality like that, that's what you keep in mind. What's the solution for this problem that I'm going to solve for this particular offer? And then you just tie it to a method. And that way you don't confuse your audience and you're still going to attract people. So that's what you can do and you can think about. So those of you who I know are on here, like Angela, for example, Angela is multidimensional. But she still solves very tangible, real problems. So you just tie that to them. What's the problem that this ebook is going to solve? What's the problem that this talk that you're giving is going to solve? What's the solution that they're getting? And then you just tie it to a method. So that's one way to kind of simplify that. And I know this is like marketing on crack here, trying to give you all this information in this one little bit of time. But I really do want you guys to have viewers and people showing up for your talks. So, I have a passion for women like you to make money. That is the foundation of what I do. If you are interested in having the ebook of your talk made, just message me privately and we'll get that for you. And I'll make sure that we get your talk title really honed and clear.
All right. So I think now we can open up the space for questions. If anyone has any questions, you can I know a lot of you are, you don't have your camera on, but you can just go ahead and unmute and ask your question and we'll answer them.
I have a question.
Yeah, go for it, Tanya.
So one of the things I'm a little nervous about is because I've never been host and done the technical side on Zoom. I am doing, slides for the first time. I kind of mentioned this in our group chat. I created slides on Canva. And so I'm not exactly sure how to put my Canva slideshow up on Zoom when I become host.
Yeah. So what you're going to do is you're just going to download it as a PDF.
Okay.
And have it up on your screen. When you screen share, that PDF will be there and you're just going to slide through the PDF.
Okay. And so when I screen share, is there just a button I'll see once you guys make me host that says?
Oh, I will record a mini training for that. So you all know that what to click where.
Okay. Okay. And so as long as I've downloaded it as PDF and have that up, I'll be good.
Yeah. And just any links and things like that you're going to share from your talk or any upsells or offers that you're going to make, have them in a PDF right on your screen, have it up behind your slide so that when you're ready to give those links, you can just drop them right, just copy and paste and drop them right in there. Or with one of the other speakers so that you're watching each other's talks and help each other out. So here's my links, here's when I'm going to post them, and then watch each other and do it for each other. Or have a VA on. That's another solution. My VA is always on my talks and she drops all my links.
Okay, great. That gives me more clarity.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Anyone else has a question?
Or anything you want to share or anything you want?
Sorry, it's Anissa. This is kind of, it might be a silly question, but
no silly questions.
How are we I tend to drop the F-bomb when I get passionate. Are we okay with that?
Yes,
we are. If not,
We're well.
Yeah, okay, cool. I assumed yes, but I was just wanted to double check. Yeah.
Yep.
Cool.
I talk about this in my courses all the time. And here's why I say don't filter. When I was newer, I had something out. I was doing a retreat and I had a woman reach out to me and she's like, do you use that word all the time? Because if you do, I can't come. I said, please don't come. Because if I filter myself, I'm not gonna have fun. And then you're worried about everybody and this and that. So I do not believe in filtering because it will filter in or out your ideal client. So
Yeah,
be yourself. We're wild.
I will pre-frame. I will pre-frame to like put kids away and that, yeah, I swear. So if you don't like it, jump off now.
Yeah.
Cool. Thanks.
All right. Any other questions? Thank you so much, Anissa.
Can I just make a comment on that?
Yeah.
So I had a training I was watching the other day, and this guy, I have met him before. His name's Andrew, and he was doing training and he was dropping the F-bomb. And I love Andrew and I love his authenticity. Like, I think it's great, and it doesn't offend me at all that he does that. I love him being real and I crack up watching him. But my husband was in the room and he's like, why do you watch him? That's not professional at all. I can't believe he's sitting there being a trainer and he's dropping the F-bomb like that. I'm like, are you kidding me? I love that because he's real. He's not putting on this fake hate, so it's not going to be for everybody, but them aren't people.
Ideal audience. And your husband is not.
Right.
It's perfect.
Sonia. All right. Anyone else? We have 2 minutes left. We can stay on, but we like to keep it on time.
Will
Yeah,
this
just come on, and then-
will this recording be put in the group? Because I missed the first half about the
Yes.
talks.
Yeah.
Great.
So everything is going to be inside of like the replays page for the speakers. So in that page, you have the previous recording for the last session. You'll have this one. You'll have all the links that are now relevant for you. You have all the links in there already for like the slide templates and whatnot. So that's your to go page for everything you need to prepare for the summit. Yeah. So the training on how to share your slides inside of Zoom will be there. This talk will be there. The example on like how to introduce yourself that you can just plug and play will be there. So you can just copy mine and make it your own. So everything will be inside of that page. We really wanted to create one place where you could find everything. So we didn't spam you with tons of emails everywhere.
What you guys can really focus on this week is just really inviting your audience and giving them that code WILD so they can upgrade for $1. Let them know that it is out there for $97, but because it's coming from you, they get it for $1. And that's how they can access your talk if they miss it or if they want to watch it again, right? Sometimes we want to go back and really take notes on things. So really push that and know that this is our golden hour and we need to do the most this week.
Yeah. And remember that you're inviting people who ideally they will become your clients, but maybe they become the clients of another speaker, but another speaker will invite people who might be your ideal client. So just go for it, put all your effort behind it. We're running so many things behind the scenes for all of you. And so you get featured and you get like noticed and people see you more. Like make sure you join the Facebook group. We'll add the link there to the Facebook group. We're going to be doing all the announcements. It's a group that has like 1,500 people in it already, who are all women. So we're going to be there pushing your talks and talking about what's happening and having banners every day that tells about like the featured speakers and why you want to show up. So make sure you engage and become part of it. Tag us in whatever you post so we can reshare it. This is really a group effort for everyone to get visibility, because really we go together, we can go further. All right. Well, if there's no more questions, that's it for today. And we shall see you next week, unless we figure out that there's something else that we can help you on and support you throughout the process, then we'll add another call. But if not, we'll see you at the summit.
You there?
Thank you.